Man, I've been thinking about it all week. I really want to go to the Justin Bieber concert. It's been so long since he's toured, and this might be the only chance I get for a while.
I feel you, Mike. Justin's shows are insane. He really knows how to put on a performance. Remember that documentary we watched? The one where they showed the behind the scenes of his tour? That got me hyped up too.
Yeah, never say never. It was awesome seeing how much effort he puts into his concerts. He's not just singing, he's giving everything on stage. That's why I'm so bummed I can't afford to go.
Tickets are crazy expensive, aren't they? It's like they're priced for millionaires. When I looked them up, I was shocked. How are regular people supposed to afford that?
Exactly. It's not just the ticket price. By the time you factor in all the other expenses, it's a small fortune. The tickets alone are like $200 for decent seats, and that's not even considering the VIP packages or anything.
Yeah, and don't forget about the convenience fees, which are basically just a scam. You're also looking at transportation, food, maybe even a hotel if you're coming from out of town. It adds up so fast.
Right? If you do the math, it's like, what, $300 or $400 minimum for one night? It's tough when you've got other priorities, like rent, bills, groceries, life.
It's frustrating because you work hard and deserve to enjoy stuff like this. But then reality hits, and you realize you have to make responsible choices. It's like, how can you justify spending that much money on a concert when you could use it for something more essential?
That's exactly what I've been wrestling with. Part of me is like, just go for it. You only live once. But the other part of me knows that I can't just throw money around like that. It's like being torn between your heart and your brain.
Totally get it. It's like, you want to have these experiences and make memories, but at what cost? You don't want to be paying for it in the long run, financially or otherwise.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm broke, but I have to be careful with my money. I'm trying to save up for bigger things, like a car, or maybe even a down payment on a house one day. Dropping a few hundred on a concert doesn't really fit into that plan.
I hear you. It's all about priorities. But at the same time, I think it's important to have a balance. You don't want to live so cautiously that you miss out on enjoying life.
True, but where do you draw the line? I mean, it's just a concert, right? It's not like my life will be incomplete if I don't go, but it feels like I'd be missing out on something really special.
It's not just about the concert, though. It's about the experience. Being in that atmosphere, surrounded by other fans, singing along to your favorite songs, and just having a blast. That's what makes it worth it. But it's still a tough call.
Yeah, it's that feeling of being part of something bigger, something that you can't really get from just listening to the album at home. But I guess I have to weigh that against my long-term goals.
There's also FOMO, fear of missing out. You see everyone else going and posting about it on social media, and it makes you feel like you're missing out on this huge event.
That's a big part of it. I've seen people on Instagram talking about getting their tickets, and it's hard not to feel left out. But then again, I know that social media can make things seem way more glamorous than they really are.
For sure, social media only shows the highlights. You're not seeing the credit card bills people are racking up or the stress they might be under afterward trying to pay it off.
Exactly. It's all about perception. But still, it's hard not to want to be a part of that, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes it's not just about the money. It's about whether it's really worth it to you. Like, would you be willing to make sacrifices in other areas to go to the concert?
What would I be willing to give up? Maybe I could cut back on eating out for a month or two, or skip buying new clothes for a while. But then, I also have to think about the other things I could be doing with that money.
You could also consider other options, like trying to find cheaper tickets on resale sites or even entering contests. Sometimes, people get lucky and win tickets through radio stations or social media giveaways.
I've thought about that, but the resale market can be a gamble. You might find cheaper tickets, but you could also end up paying way more if the demand is high. And those contests are so hit or miss. I never seem to win anything.
True, it's a long shot, but if it's something you really want, it might be worth a try. There's also the option of saving up over time, but that's tough if the concert's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's only a few weeks away. I could save up, but I'd have to cut back on pretty much everything else, and I'm not sure that's the best idea.
What about asking for it as a gift? Maybe your birthday is coming up, or you could ask for it as a Christmas present.
I've thought about that too, but I'd feel weird asking someone to spend that much money on me, especially when I know they have their own financial stuff to deal with. Plus, it's not really the same as paying for it yourself.
It's different when you've earned it and made the choice to spend your own money on something you want. There's a sense of accomplishment that comes with that.
I think part of the experience is knowing that I made it happen. It's like a reward for working hard and being responsible with my money. But at the same time, I have to be realistic about what I can afford.
It's a tough balance. You want to enjoy life and do the things you love, but you also have to be smart about it. Maybe there's a middle ground, like finding a way to make it more affordable.
Yeah, like maybe I could go with a group and split some of the costs, like transportation or even food. Or I could look for deals on things like parking or merchandise.
Sometimes, sharing the experience with friends makes it even better, and it can help reduce the overall cost. Plus, you'd have people to hang out with before and after the concert, which adds to the fun.
True, and that way, it's not just about the concert itself, but the whole experience. But I guess the first step is figuring out if I can even afford the ticket in the first place.
Yeah, maybe take a hard look at your budget and see if there's any wiggle room. If it's something you really want, you might find a way to make it work. But if it's going to put too much strain on your finances, it might not be worth it.
I think that's what it comes down to. What I'm willing to give up or adjust to make it happen. It's just frustrating because it feels like these events are only accessible to people with a lot of disposable income.
It's a real problem. Concerts, sports events, even movie tickets, it's all getting more expensive. It's like they're pricing out regular folks who just want to enjoy a night out without breaking the bank.
And the thing is, I don't mind spending money on something I love, but there's a limit. At some point, you have to say, is this really worth it?
That's the question. Is it worth it? Only you can answer that. And it's not just about the money. It's about what it means to you. If going to the concert would bring you joy and be a memory you cherish, then maybe it's worth making some sacrifices.
I guess I have to weigh the cost against the value. What would it mean to me to be there, to see Justin live, and to be part of that experience? And is that worth the financial hit?
It's a personal decision, but whatever you decide, just make sure you're comfortable with it. You don't want to regret spending the money later, but you also don't want to regret missing out on something you really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid regret. Whether I go or not, I want to feel like I made the right choice for me.
If you decide not to go, remember that there will be other opportunities. Justin's not going anywhere, and there will be more concerts and events in the future.
Maybe I'll be in a better financial position next time, and I won't have to stress about it so much.
Maybe next time, you'll be able to afford those VIP tickets and get the full experience. It's all about timing and being patient.
You're right. I think I just need to take a step back and really think about what's best for me right now. Maybe this isn't the right time, and that's okay.
If you do decide not to go, there are other ways to enjoy the music. Maybe have a Justin Bieber night at home, watch some of his live performances online, and still get that concert vibe without the cost.
That's a good idea. I could invite some friends over, and we could make a night of it. It wouldn't be the same as being there in person, but it could still be a lot of fun.
Maybe you'll start a new tradition, Justin Bieber night with the crew. It's all about making the most of what you have and finding joy in different ways.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll keep an eye on my budget, and if I can make it work, great. If not, I'll still find a way to enjoy the music and have a good time.
It's not the end of the world if you can't go. There will always be other concerts and other chances to make great memories.
Thanks, man. I needed to hear that. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and forget about what really matters. I'll make the best decision for me, whatever that ends up being.